All right, and we are back with another Tuesday night chit chat. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Sly, and we talk about just everything and anything and everything here. So, um, the main thing that's been going on here is probably weather related. Which, if you guys are up north, I'm sure y'all are dealing with a lot of that too. Did I get all my lights turned on? It looks a little dark back there, but um so we had beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather today. It was in the 80s. I think it was like 82 or something. It was best day you could ask for. A little light breeze, nice temperatures, great. Tomorrow it's going to be cold again. And when you get a lot of these highs and lows, it stirs things upstairs up. And so Friday we have like tornado possibilities. So, there's that. But I do have something to tell you how my week has been. Yesterday morning, I woke up with a cold nose. Now, on a dog, it's healthy. When I get a cold nose, it means that it's cold. Okay, that's the first part of my body that tells me I'm too cold. I need to warm up. My nose gets cold. So I got up and I came in and looked at my little temperature thing right there, and it said 63. So I checked to make sure the thermostat was on, and the heater had a couple of weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, I replaced the furnace filter, and apparently I didn't get the door on good, and the wind or something had popped it loose to where it wouldn't allow the heater to come on. So the man comes out, and okay, it's just the door, just put it back on, no big deal. Well, he gets to investigating the furnace, and apparently it has rusted out. Like the burners are rusted, and apparently it's a carbon monoxide hazard. So, long story short, this wonderful, wonderful man replaced my furnace yesterday. Like he came out, and it was probably 11:30 when he came out, and he went and got a furnace and got it put in and up and running before he left. He probably left here about 4:30, and it works great. So, and the new furnace has a drawer, so you can change the filter. There's no switch on it. So if you don't get the drawer shoved all the way back in, not a big deal because there's no switch to keep the furnace from going off and on. And bless his little heart, he replaced my thermostat as well. That's what I'm missing. I knew I was missing something. I was missing that. Um, which I know you guys are going, well, what's that? So, uh, I have been trying to rearrange things the last couple of weeks, and um, and so my screen is just everything's in the wrong place, and so I can't see anything. So, um, and look who's here. Will this work? Yes. Okay. It's everything still works the way it's supposed to. It's just everything's in the wrong place on my end. Scott made it in first. He says, "Hi friends, happy Tuesday." And I've got this like blown up so big so I can read it without my glasses. And so it takes up like more than a fourth of the monitor is the chat window thing. Okay. Randy wants to know, what company are you using for the wide lens on the ZV-1? Well, Randy, one would have to know where the ZV-1 is. Here it is, I think. I think it's over here. Because I don't really use the ZV-1, so I have it nicely packed away. And I don't have any glasses in here, so I may hold it up to the camera so you guys can read what it is. Um, you know what? I think it's a Ulanzi, to be honest with you. Um, I don't I don't know if that camera will pick that up. Well, if I can get it straight. Never been good at this robot stuff. So basically it says wide angle macro 52 millimeter, but I don't know. It doesn't have a name. Yeah, it's Ulanzi. It's got the little U on it. Uh, and it's got the threads. Now, I bought this from John Vandervert. I don't know how you say his last name. Anyway, he used to come into Peter's live stream a lot. I haven't seen him in a long time, but anyway, I bought this from him, and he already had the small rig cage on it, and this lens uh, comes with. I don't know if you can see it on there or not. It comes with this piece that you adhesively mount to this piece. I mean, I don't even know if this camera has any battery to it. Apparently not, because I can't get the lens to come out. Anyway, you mount this piece on, and it has threads. And then you can just screw this piece on, like and see so. And then this makes it a wide angle. And he sent all of this. Super nice guy. But I bought one for, I think, the Canon. And it was, I believe it's a Vivitar. It's a Vivitar. It does the exact same thing. So, and looks the same and everything. So I don't believe that one fits the ZV-1. I think it fit the Canon G7X Mark III. But this one is a Ulanzi that came with the camera because, I bought it used. So buying used is good because you get extra stuff with it. So it had the cage, the lens, this this is probably one of my favorite things, this remote control tripod thing, because you can zoom in and out, and so it's extremely handy. But I went to the OBS bot Meet 2 for my overhead, and so the little ZV-1 has been, like I said, I don't even know if it has a battery in it. It has been relegated to a case. So I probably need to sell that one, but I never did like the flippy out screen. So yes, so there's that. Roy says, coffee time. It's always coffee time in Australia, Roy. That's what I heard. And he's saying, good day, Randy. And now he's saying, and Randy's waving at him. I do need to make that bigger. And Roy is saying good day to me. Good day, Roy. And Charles made it in. How you doing? Glad to have you, sir. Haven't seen you in a long time. I think you came in last week, but before that, it had been a very long time since I'd seen you. I did see where you're shooting on Nikon, I think film camera now, which you like to play just like the rest of us. It's a new toy, and so I remember when you got the Fuji and you were enchanted by the Fuji doing that film look, and so now you've gone back to actual a film camera, which honestly, Charles, I really like the film cameras. I feel like I was more of a, well, I was more of a photographer when I was shooting with film. I don't feel like I'm as much of a photographer shooting with digital. I guess because you can instantly look at it and either keep or delete. One thing that I was watching some show or something, and it was set back in the 40s, and of course they were taking film, And they caught in the background, it wasn't that great of a picture or anything, but they caught a guy that they were looking for in the background. And I was thinking to myself that it wasn't that good of a picture of the person in the foreground. Okay. And so if it had been on digital, they may have just deleted it. And it turned out it was a vital piece of evidence because it had that person in the background. So I'm on the fence. Do I want to go back to film? I don't think so. But it definitely had its pros. So Roy says, "Where has your nose been?" Well, my nose was out of the covers. So the rest of me was warm, but my little nose was cold. And so when I wake up, or anytime that my nose gets cold, I get cold. It's kind of like that's my temperature gauge right there. Roy says, I could live without heating. AC is another matter. Depends on what season I'm in. Because it's really easy to say that right now when it's like 80 degrees, it's perfect weather. I don't need heat or air. But when my nose gets cold, I want heat. And so it was extremely nice because I rent. I moved out of my house and now I'm renting. And so it was extremely nice to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody, not have to worry about trying to fix it myself. And the man came out and it was fixed in the same day. So, yeah, I was really happy with that. Scott says, my furnace rusted out 2 years ago. The oldest that he could find anywhere on there was 95, but I truly believe that furnace was probably put in when this place was built. And I think it was built in the late 70s. So, yeah, I'm thinking it was about 20 years older than what he thought. And Charles says, it's nice and hot here. Enjoying the movies with Jazzy and Eve at the cinema. Fun. Just watched Dolly. Don't waste your money seeing it. It's terrible. Now, see, I would have thought Dolly probably would have been all right. I have heard really bad reviews on somebody else's movie, First Lady of Our Country. But I would have thought if Dolly made something that it would have been good. But I trust your judgment, Charles. And we have a new, okay, bear with me. I'm going to try to say this. Nope, not even going to try. So we're just going to call you Brab. How's that? And thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. I hugely appreciate it. And welcome to our live stream. I keep looking over to see if anybody's trying to beep in. And she says, hey. And that is a beautiful, beautiful picture, by the way. So welcome. We just talk about a lot of nothing. So join the crowd here. W anchor S lens. I don't know, Roy. West by South lens. I don't know. Anyway, Randy's giving it a thumbs up. And hit that thumbs up button if you haven't. And Peter's here. I'm thinking of getting a wide lens too for the ZV-1 and selling the ZV Mark II. Quality decent using it. Peter, honestly, they're both, when I did try them, both the Vivitar and the Ulanzi looked exactly the same. So, it's not my favorite camera, but they both looked exactly the same. The Vivitar, I don't think I ever permanently mounted that. They've got the sticky part that goes on the lens part so that you can screw the macro lens on there. And I didn't want to do that to the G7X Mark III, so I don't think I ever put the Vivitar on there. But they both weigh the exact same. They look the exact same. I mean, you would have to really obviously read on the side who made it to pick out a difference. So I'm going to say yes. Roy says, I love film cameras, especially when they have a digital back. Well, but then you would know whether you need to take another shot or not. I guess if it's on film, you can't really just erase it. But yeah, yeah, I'm up in the air about them. I think the film side made me a better photographer because you weren't just click, 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 because you were paying for all that. But so I think the digital side, I think you do take just more random. You don't think about your shot as much because if you don't like it, you can just take another one. So I think film does make you a better photographer because you're more selective about the pictures that you actually take. And Carlos made it in. Hey, Sly. Hey, everyone. How are you, sir? How is the weather out there? I've got a hoodie on because it still gets cold at night. But yeah, it's really phenomenally nice weather today. Now it's Oklahoma, so every time the wind blows, the weather changes. It is what it is. Charles says, I went back to film because I like challenges. Anyone can take a digital and shoot, exactly, but not everyone can shoot film. Exactly. That's kind of my point, is when you're shooting with film that you're going to pay to have developed, I think you're more selective about your shots. I would not have any problem handing a digital camera to my grandson and saying, go for it, buddy, and let's see what you get. Never in a million years would I hand him a film camera and say, go for it. It would cost me a fortune. So, there, so there is that. But I mean, digital does have its place because he's going to learn, and he is starting to get the camera bug, but he's going to learn about, somewhat about taking shots because he can use it freely. It's kind of like when he's on the computer. That kid is faster than I am, and he is 6 because he's not afraid of it. He's been raised on a computer, and so he's not afraid of it. Well, if you kind of get a feel for cameras with the digital side, then later, and to perfect your art, I guess, you go to the film side, you do have to be more selective. So that is a very true statement, Charles. Roy says, our heater is from 1980s and still going strong. Well, I thought this one was too. And when he, of course, he was going to put the door back on it and everything else. And he would have changed the filter, but I had just done it. And so when he got to investigating and looking in there, because he came all the way out here and he wanted to do something. And so when he left to go get the new heater, I'm kind of nosy. Like, it all comes back to my nose, doesn't it? Well, so I took my flashlight in there because I'm thinking, oh, he's just trying to pull one over, And I got taking the flashlight and I got to really looking because I just changed the filter. I didn't look at the working guts or anything. And sure enough, that thing was rusted out. So now I have a brand new heater, and so everything should be going good. Wanker's lens. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, you may have to explain a little more. Roy says, I still think of images in 12, 24, and 36 frames. Right? So, yeah, I mean, and, back then, I think my film camera, it would do, I wanna say it would do, like, 10 shots, just boom, 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 boom. Maybe it was 12. Um, but it would, if you put a roll of 24 in there and then you tried to get, like, an action shot, it would eat up almost half the roll. And then you're changing. I always kept 4 or 5 new film cartridges because, I would eat up 4 or 5 in a day. That can get expensive. But at the time, my kids were little and they were cute, and I wanted lots of pictures of them. And I got lots of pictures. Roy says, "Does the new heater have enough room for the dead bodies?" Yes, it does. This heater is much, much smaller than the old one. The old one was about as tall as I am, and this new one is it's a good foot and a half shorter than the old one. So they did have to repipe some stuff, but the closet that it was in or is in didn't change. The size didn't change. So yes, there is plenty of room in there for dead bodies. Yep, yep, yep. Charles says, "I'm only going to be here for a few more minutes because we're getting ready to see another movie at the theater, Scream 7. Ooh. Yeah, see, I'm not big on scary movies. Um, my grandson loves scary stuff, but when it gets to the scary part, he covers himself with a blanket. So I don't really see the point. But yeah, well, enjoy your movie, Charles, and thank you so much for coming in. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Thank you. It does help. Okay, so since we've kind of gotten on a camera tangent here, one of the things, okay, so everybody is concerned about having the best camera. And this is just my take on it, okay? I don't think the camera is the most important part of the package. Okay? Let that digest for just a minute. I don't think the camera is the most important part of the package. So if you think about it, cameras take pictures. Okay? Cameras do videos. They are only going to take a picture or a video of what they see. So as a content creator, I think it's more important and people will watch your videos longer if, number one, you have good audio. So I think audio is number one. If you don't have good audio, they're just going to turn it off and they'll go to the next person. I am just as guilty as the next person. I've done that. If I've tried to watch something and the audio is not good, it's not happening. The second thing that I think it's important is your lighting. So I have several lights here, and and by the way, these are all Ulanzi. I have had incredibly good luck with Ulanzi, and so I use a bunch of their stuff. They make all kinds of things for people, photographers, videographers, whatever. You guys know the little ball head is absolutely one of my favorite little, because this thing is so little, it'll stash anywhere, and it gives you a ball head when you're out and about if you don't have a tripod with a ball head. But anyway, let's go back to lighting. So I shoot with the smallest camera possible. Couple of reasons. One, I don't like dragging around big equipment because it's usually on my back. And two, I've gone to an action camera because they're so durable. I have dropped, I think I dropped the 5, and I thought the lens broke. It wasn't. It was the protective cover that I had put on it. And I had, I buy in bulk, so I had extras. And so what I thought at first was I was really kind of getting down on myself because you broke the lens, fumble fingers, and it wasn't. It was just the protective cover. But so I think audio first, and then how does it look? Well, in some regard, yes, the camera is responsible for it, how it looks to a degree. But if you're in a dark room, like a closet, I don't know why you take a picture in a closet, but we're just hypothetically, if you're in a dark room, the camera can't get enough light to take a picture. Okay, so your lighting is a real close second. And so my little action cameras take this little light right here. Look how little that is. Is that not just the cutest thing ever? And because I shoot with DJI and they have that magnetic piece, you can put it on the side, you can put it on the top, wherever you want it. And if you're not using a tripod, you can put it on the bottom. But this is the difference between a good shot and a bad shot. And I can be out, like right now, it is pitch black. There is supposed to be a blood moon tonight, if anybody has seen that, or I don't know what time it is, but I can be outside, pitch black, no lights around me, and this is enough to illuminate me. Now you can't see anything behind me, but without this, you wouldn't be able to see me. If there's a full moon, you're going to catch the hair, okay? Because this hair is so reflective. It's just like carrying around a reflector. But with this little bitty light, you go from having a poor quality video to a good video, okay? So third, I'm going to say is the lens. We're still not even to the camera yet. So you've got audio, lighting, lens, and then you get to the camera. So all these people that are so worried about what camera should I get and should I get the latest and the greatest and all this stuff, have you worked on the first three first? I'm just saying. So for now I'm still in the action camera realm, okay? Ulanzi also makes a little bit bigger light that's got hair all over it. So this is my preferred light. This one's a little bit bigger and it'll go in the cold shoe. So it is a little bit bigger. It does throw a little bit more light. It will blind you if you turn it on high and you point it directly at you. Then all you see is the light. So yeah, I think you can get too bright. So there is that. So if you have a mirrorless camera, like my M6 Mark IIs, these size lights are perfect. Now, they look like they're identical, but they're not. This one is strictly I think it does cool white, warm white, and that may be it. It may just do cool and warm. This one is an RGB light. So it does the whole spectrum, which is nice. And they're not that much more. But these are great lights for a little bit bigger camera. Now, you can put these on action camera, but now the light's bigger than the camera. And if you're going for small, what's the point of that? So, there's that. Now, if you have a bigger, let's say you have a DSLR and you want some light, then I have the Big Daddy light. So, which this is RGB, okay? So this one and this one, they put out about the same, but because this is bigger, it has a bigger throw. So, but they're all from Ulanzi. They are not expensive, but lighting is very, 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 very important. So, and Now, to all you photographers in the room, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the new people who want to set up, because I've had several people ask me about starting a YouTube channel. And I kind of went over some of the equipment I had last time. Well, so I'm kind of talking to them. Get your audio right first. Don't be worrying about if you need a $3,000 camera. You do not. But you do need good audio. So, where do I leave off? Okay. Charles says, my wife loves horror movies. That's just so she can cuddle with you. She's not fooling me. Charles says, all cameras are great. Not all photographers are, though. Well, but there's ways to improve. And if someone, it's really easy when you first start getting started and you don't know a lot, it's really easy to get sucked down that well of, I've got to have the best camera. And you don't. I'm just telling you. So I've seen an awful lot of, I have seen a lot of people using their phone. And now none of these, I don't use my phone. My phone is a phone. I'm old school. It's a phone. I don't even think about it being a camera. But these younger kids, they've had one of these in their hands since they were 12, 13, 14 years old. And this is their everything. It's their notepad. It's their camera. It's their alarm clock. It's their everything. And they do make lights for phones because they make these little rigs that go on here. I do have one. Yes, I do, right here. Because I use these small rig magic arms, and they all come with these little phone adapter things. So what you can do, I think, not with that one, but it does have a 1/4-20 thread on it. So you could put a light on here, and then you put this on your phone, like and see so, and then your light would go right there, and all of a sudden now you have a camera and a light. Now, if you're using your phone's microphone, it's going to work great right here. It's a phone, people. So if you get it out very far, you're not going to be able to hear anything. It's going to sound very muffled. But as long as you're, like got it close enough like you would be talking on the phone, you're going to sound okay. So don't rely on your phone's microphone. Remember, audio was number one. Do not rely on your phone's microphone. Just throwing that out there. You can get a phone to plug into the bottom, or a microphone to plug into the bottom of your phone for less than $20. And then you can hold it out as far as you want to, and you'll still sound good. So, audio, number one. Roy says, it's harder to take pictures without a camera or phone. True. You do have to have something. I don't know, you just walk around going, oh, I see you, click, click. But yes, you're 100% right. You do need a camera of some sort, but it does not have to be the latest and the greatest and the most megapixels and the biggest, um, lens and all this stuff. You don't have to spend all that money to get started. Roy says lighting is number one. Well, okay, in photography, I would agree with that. So in the videography side of it, where you add, because in photography, you don't have sound. So on the videography side of that, I would disagree. I would say audio is number one. Lighting, I think, is number two. But in the photography side, yes, you're 100% right. I think lighting is more important than what camera you're using. Roy says, real photographers always have a camera handy. Well, I don't know if I wouldn't call myself a real photographer, but I do always have a camera ready. And no, it's not my phone. Because like I said, in my mindset, yes, it has a camera in it. It has, the forward facing and the rear facing, but in my mind, this is not a camera, it's a phone. So, like I said, young people think differently. And I get that, and I appreciate that. Roy says, I stayed up last night to catch the moon. It was overcast all night, just like in the 80s during Halley's Comet. Like 6 out of 7 dwarfs, I'm not happy. So it just dawned on me that it is extremely cloudy here because we're getting ready to have more rain. So I probably won't be able to see the moon. I did see it last night and it was gold. It was not red. So I think it's supposed to be tonight. Um, Roy says smartphones are for dumb photographers. Well, yeah, I don't count my phone as a camera or a notepad. Now, I have used the camera extensively. I probably have 3,000 pictures on there. I have used the notepad. I have used the alarm clock, but it's not like in my brain doesn't automatically go to the phone when I need to make a video or take a picture or something. My brain goes to my action cameras, which are always with me. So that's just where my brain goes. Yes, I could pull my phone out, but I pull out an action camera. So, and a mic. And as soon as you turn on the camera, the mic pairs to it. So there's that. Roy says, too many people get new cameras before they even learn the last one, right? Um, and, that goes back to what Mr. Camera Junkie is always saying, improve your skills before your upgrade your skills before you upgrade your gear. And I would kind of have to agree with that. Um, I guess because I learned on a film camera, cameras don't intimidate me. There are certain ones I like personally, I like the Canon menus. It's easy for me. I know where stuff is. And on the Sony menus, not so much. And I don't, when I cook, I don't use a recipe. Like, I don't read directions. So, learning a new menu system is just that one more step that, yeah. So, I pretty much stick with Canon as far as I can. By the way, they have I guess there was some camera show in Japan and they highlighted a new camera for I think this is their 50th anniversary or something. And it's like the old, was it the single reflex where you have to look down and it's got the little knob on the side? I don't know if that'll ever make it to the States. They are supposed to come out this year with a new point and shoot to replace the G7X Mark III. Don't know what it's going to be called yet. It is supposed to be kind of a hybrid between the V1 and the G7X Mark III. So they're going to try to marry, which the V1 is a point and shoot, but it's bigger because it's got the built-in fan and everything. So it's a bigger body. So they're going to try to marry those two together. We'll see. We'll see what they come out with. Charles says, now you were talking about audio being number one for video, not photography, right? Absolutely. Yes. Because photography doesn't have sound. So it wouldn't matter what your audio is because there's no sound on a picture. But for videography, yes. And Roy is right that for photography, lighting is probably the most important. The thing to focus on. So I'm just saying you don't have to go out and spend a great deal of money on the latest and greatest camera. I mean, you can do it for bragging rights, but it's not going to, if you don't have the right lighting and you don't have the right lens, having the right camera makes it the wrong camera. So that's all I'm saying. Roy says, if I didn't need a phone to control gear, then I'd always accidentally forget to bring it with me. So that was, that made me think of something. So I had, our electric company had sent out these Nest thermostats, and I had just never gotten around to putting it on because I'm getting lazy in my old age. And I find 100 other things to do besides change out a thermostat. So while the guys were here, I asked them if they would do this for me. You know, this white hair comes in real handy a lot, right? Because I can act the poor pitiful me so good. And so they changed it out for me. Well, it's controlled. It's like a Google product. And so it's controlled through your phone. Now, you guys know how I feel about this. My phone is a phone. Okay? It's not a camera. It's not a thermostat. It's a phone. And so I told him, I said, well, I don't really want it hooked up to my phone. And he said, well, it's a Google product. It has to be hooked up to your phone. So I'm like, okay. Well, it doesn't have, I don't know if any of you guys have a Nest thermostat, but it doesn't have anything on the outside. You know, my old thermostat had cool, off, and heat, and auto and fan. And then you adjusted the temperature with a little dial. This one has nothing. And so I'm asking the guy, so we get everything set up, and he said, well, you can program it for different days of the week. And I said, hun, all my days are the same. I want the house 70 degrees all the time until it gets hot. And then I'll bump it up a little bit. But when it's cold, and even if we have 80-degree days, I want the house set at 70. Thank you. Make that happen. So, but then I asked him, I said, okay, you guys aren't going to be here when it does get hot. And who knows? I'm not even going to say what month I'm going to turn the AC on because with the weather the way it's been, I don't even want to hazard a guess. I never thought I'd be mowing my yard in February. So I said, how do I change it from the heat to AC? There's no little button. And he said, oh, you just rub on it. Now this is a young kid. You know, he's like 6'4", ginormous, standing next to me. And he's like, you just rub on it. What's that gonna do? He says, well, that changes it. You just rub on it until you get to the screen you want. I found this entirely hilarious. That they have now made a thermostat that you can just rub on until it does what you want it to do. So we'll see. I may get very, very frustrated before I get the AC on. Or I may just have the touch and just rub it just right and the AC comes on. Who knows? Who knows? But I thought it's been a fun week. It's been a fun week. Roy says, stills photography makes sound the way I do it. Okay, Roy. I don't know how you make sound out of a still picture, but okay. More power to you, buddy. Charles says, just wondering, if you had a choice between a rangefinder or an SLR camera, what would you prefer to shoot with? Mm. Mm. Ah, Charles, that's a toughie. Um, because now by SLR, you're talking about like the single lens reflex, right? I don't know, to be honest with you. I've never had either, so I don't know. I've seen like movies and stuff where they use SLRs, but I've never shot with one. So don't know. I can't really answer that. But that's a really good question. Roy's talking to Charles saying rangefinders are nearly as bad as TLRs. Not sure what a TLR is. Um, Roy says phone apps are fine as long as there's a physical backup. Yes, well, um, a dear friend of mine has just had to replace her phone because it got so corrupted with viruses, and they would not, because it was so corrupted, they would not switch all of her apps over. So she has spent an entire weekend with her old phone and the new phone trying to remember what apps she had on there. So yeah, although I don't think I have a backup on my phone. Now my pictures and my videos automatically sync with my Mac. So whenever the phone has got enough juice in it, it will automatically sync uh, with the computer. So I guess I do have a backup. Roy hates rangefinders. Okay. Well, we know what Roy would pick. It answered your question. So there's one more light that I want to show you, and this is really more for, uh, I guess you could use it for photography. I think of it more as being a video light, and it's by Ulanzi. All of my lights are Ulanzi. I didn't realize that because it's not like I purposely have all Ulanzi lights. It just, when I was gathering them all up, I'm like, those are all Ulanzi lights. I don't have anything but Ulanzi. Um, and again, Ulanzi. But this is a really funky light. It is so bright that it literally will blow you out of a room, but it packs up so nicely that you can put it in your suitcase and take it with you. Now, obviously, it's not as small as this one, but it's also about 100 times brighter than that one. So you just air it up. It takes like one puff of air, and then it's got this whole light strip here is an LED light strip, and it's got adjustments on the back. You can see those adjustments on the back, so you can get it really a lot brighter or dimmer. You can change it from cool white to warm white. It does not have RGB, but in a light that size, I don't really think that's a bad thing. Um, I have taken these with me when I've done remote live streams, and I have two of them. And so you set them up on each side, and you kind of turn them like facing each other, because if you turn them facing you, especially with this white hair, guys, this white hair is a nightmare to try to put lighting on. Okay? It reflects everything. If you have the least little bit of color in your light, it's going to turn my hair that color. So if I try to go like a warm white, my hair turns yellow. Um, if there's too much blue in the light, guess what? My hair turns blue. So it really highly, highly reflective, and it picks up whatever light you put on it. So it really is challenging. Um, I have done live streams where um, I will wear a cap because I can't get the lighting right on my hair. So I just put a ball cap on and go on down the road. So Roy says those Yolandi stack together. They stack together. Which ones? They're all Yolandi. So I don't know which ones stack together. These have a magnet. Like this is a magnet. It's a quarter 20, but it also is a magnet. So you can attach it to, if you've got metal around you, you can attach this light to it. And so just very versatile. I mean, I would never have thought of putting a magnet on a light. So my hat is off to these people who design this stuff. Charles says, hey guys, nice to see you all. Got to go. Our movie's about to start and I need to get a huge bucket of popcorn. Yes, you do. If you're going to watch a scary movie, you need a big bucket of popcorn. It gives you, because you get nervous in scary movies and it gives you something to do. So enjoy your movie, Charles. Thank you so much for coming in. Roy says, inflatable lights. What's next? Inflatable model. Whoops. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. But yeah, I mean, these are the bomb diggity. Now, in all honesty, my soft boxes fold up pretty dadgum flat. But they're still, they've got like wires or whatever in them. And so even though they fold up, actually, I don't think they fold. I think they roll up. It's been a minute since I've taken them apart, but I think you take the fuser off and then you roll them up, and they roll up pretty tight. They're about, I don't know, they're about yay long, maybe 15, 18 inches, and they roll up pretty tight, but they're not as small and compact as these are. So now again, those put out even more light. So yeah, Roy says, popcorn and a coffee milkshake. I have a feeling he's gonna get the large popcorn and the large soda. But maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, anymore you go to a movie and the popcorn and the soda would be like $30, and it's $15 to get in the movie, and that's just for one person. So if you get like the large popcorn and large soda, you can kind of share. So I haven't been to a movie in forever. Just because I have a real hard time sitting still through a whole movie. I have a hard time sitting still through a live stream. Okay. There's, I just keep wanting to get up and do something. So, yeah, I like to watch movies at home because I can hit pause, and I guess what do they call that? ADHD, attention deficit horrific disorder. I don't know. I don't know what it stands for, but, and no, I've never been diagnosed, but my brain will think of something and I just jump up and do it. And then I come back and I hit play and I'll watch another 20 minutes or so and then off I go again. So if you've noticed in my live streams, I go on tangents, but it's okay. It's all good. But anyway, so to wrap this up, okay, if you're doing photography, lighting is probably the most important thing. And then your lens. And then on the bottom of the list is the camera. If you have a camera made pretty much in the last 5 to 10 years, the camera's at the bottom of the list. Your lighting and your lens is what is going to make or break your picture. And then the camera. You gotta have a camera. So, right? So, I mean, it is in there, but start with your lighting. And for videography, 100% start with your microphone. If the video is a little bit dark, or the other side, if it's too bright, people can forgive that. But if they can't hear you clearly, they're just going to go to somebody else's video. So there's that. Roy says, I love DVDs because streaming doesn't have any movies that I like. Well, I watch a lot of old stuff. I do have a DVD player, but there's so much stuff on now. BritBox has got probably my favorite shows. So I like that pause button. Gotta have me some pause button. Scott says, I have the same disorder. Sitting through a movie is really tough. I've seen very few compared to normal folks. Yes, me too. And it's not because I don't like them. There are several movies that I would like to see. I just don't want to go to the theater to see them because you're stuck. Now, I don't know, Scott, if you remember the old drive-ins, but we had a drive-in theater here in Tulsa, and I kind of liked that. The sound was crap, okay, because you roll the window down like part way, and then you grab the speaker, you put the speaker in, and then you roll your window up, and it holds the speaker in there. And I'm dating myself because that was a long time ago. But the speakers were always horrible. But it didn't matter if you got a little antsy because you're not bothering anybody else. Now, I think the last time I went to a drive-in, they had you tune your radio to a certain channel, and it broadcasted the sound through your radio. So that was a lot better. But you're not bothering the person next to you if you get a little antsy. That's all I'm saying. Roy says normal is overrated. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, I don't think anyone has ever accused me of being normal. So, Scott, how close are you to Wisconsin? Um, I think it's your neighboring state. I think, but I don't have to. I'm supposed to go to a wedding in Wisconsin in November. This makes me very nervous because I think in November it's cold up there. So it makes me a little bit nervous about this, but we'll see. The closer it gets, we'll see if I wuss out. Scott says, we have a 4-screen drive-in here. The audio is fed through your radio. The sound is quite good. See, I dated myself by talking about the speakers because when my kids were little, we would take them to the drive-in because the kids could, they could get in the back of the truck and sit on top of the cab and whatever they wanted to do. It wasn't like taking them in a movie theater. And you had to roll your window down, get the speaker, put it on the window, roll the window back up, and the sound quality was abysmal. But when you have a bunch of kids, that's just kind of what you do. Oh. Wisconsin requires a boat ride across Lake Michigan in November? Or like, can you go down and back up? Or yeah. So is it like a ferry where my truck can go on the boat and ferry it across? Never done that before. But yeah, we'll see. Why they're having the wedding in Wisconsin, I don't know. But apparently that's where the bride's family lives. So, yeah. But, well, guys, we have kind of come to the end of our show. And for you new people out there, just get 4 or 5 videos before you actually go live with your channel, and then just put them up there and see what happens. But you gotta start somewhere. So if you're making videos, get you a good microphone. And now the microphones are so cheap. I mean, you can get an entire mic mini set for, I think, $80. Um, Small Rig makes a good one. Hollyland Lark M2S is a good one. There's a lot of really good microphones now that won't break the bank. Even 5 years ago when I started, they were a whole lot more expensive than what they are now. And now they sound a lot better than they did 5 years ago. So, uh, Scott says, yes, ferry, but not in November because it's too cold. See, I'm not completely an idiot. Why they're having a wedding in November in Wisconsin, I don't know. But, you know, I didn't plan the venue. I just got the invitation. So I had nothing else to do with it. But yeah, I was thinking if Wisconsin was close to Michigan, then I just pop over and have lunch with you and I believe her name's Nina. And maybe you could bring your mom. So we might think of that as it gets closer. Look at Roy. Look at Roy. Roy, I love you. Super chat. Really? Thank you so, so much. You, you just you just make my night, man. I mean, that is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Coffee money. I may actually go buy a coffee just for you, Roy. Just so I can drink it and think, Roy bought this for me. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. You kind of make me blush there. But guys, we will see everybody next Tuesday, hopefully. Roy says even Godox has a cheap wireless mic these days. I have a Godox mic somewhere. I think I blew it up. Not 100% sure. But it got where it sounded very staticky, but totally my fault. I don't even remember now what I did. But now I can't find it. So I found the box. So I don't know if I threw it away or if it's still in a box somewhere. I don't have any idea. But it was bigger. I don't know where the box is right now. But the transmitters were more like the Rode. They were bigger. And I like my little DJI Mic Mini. It's little and it kind of goes, I've got a little necklace that is a magnet. And so you don't want to put it right on the necklace because then when the necklace moves, you can hear it. But if you put it in your shirt, you put the mic on top, works just fine. Scott says we can try to figure that out. Yes, as it gets closer to November and I get brave enough to actually do that, yeah, I'll let you know. So anyway, guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You really are like family. And I appreciate that so much. And our new gal, what was her name? I'm so sorry. I'm really bad with names. Um, Prab Hawk, Prab Hawk. Do not have a clue how to say that. But I figure Prab is better than 5545. So if you're still here, thanks for coming in. I really do appreciate all of you. And I will see you all next week. Good night, everybody.